Hi there. I'm here with Tim Bailey, Education Director at the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, to discuss the third of 4 historical thinking skills that will be required of you at various points throughout the AP U.S. History exam. Hey, Tim.
Hey, David. How you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. I was just actually taking a look here at Skill 3 that the College Board has put out, sort of defining these historical thinking skills that they're looking for. And Skill 3 here says, crafting historical arguments from historical evidence. So I was wondering if you could help me out, because the first component is historical argumentation. And what it says here is, historical thinking involves the ability to define and frame a question about the past and to address that question by constructing an argument. A plausible and persuasive argument requires a clear, comprehensive, and analytical thesis supported by relevant historical evidence, not simply evidence that supports a preferred or preconceived position. Additionally, argumentation involves the capacity to describe, analyze, and evaluate the arguments of others in light of available evidence.
Really, this just means that you have to develop and flesh out an evidence-based thesis that will provide a clear, comprehensive discussion of a historical issue, while recognizing and rebutting opposing viewpoints. Here's a possible thesis. The New Deal saved the U.S. economy. You'll have to explain the different aspects of the New Deal that best supports the claim that its programs had significant positive impact on the U.S. economy. You'll then present a counterclaim. Let's say that your counterclaim is that the New Deal was not the savior of the U.S. economy, but in fact, it was an attempt on the part of the U.S. government to try its hand at large-scale social engineering. Then, with expanded or new evidence, you'll have to refute that counterclaim and make concrete conclusions that support your original thesis.
It goes on to say you want to have appropriate use of relevant historical evidence. And the way they explain that is, historical thinking also involves the ability to identify, describe, and evaluate evidence from the past from diverse sources, written documents, works of art, archaeological artifacts, oral traditions, and other primary sources with respect to content, authorship, purpose, format, and audience. And it says here, historical thinking involves the ability to understand such evidence in its context, recognize its limitations, and assess the points of view that it reflects.
So when I think about this particular skill, it just reminds me that evidence is everywhere. Whatever you can find that is appropriate in the effort to write this argument is acceptable. You can use examples of art, architecture, music, almost anything. Let's just use a photograph for an example. Nearly any photograph can be used, but it is the historical context of that photo that makes the difference for your efforts with the AP. Just remember, you must put the evidence in the context of your discussion. This context will show that you have an understanding of how different pieces of evidence will act as supports for different parts of your argument.